Happy Wednesday, everybody. The Mario's here. Finance Rebel Show. Y'all know we do every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we answer questions live. So we got a couple people jumping on, but before I start to talk to everybody, let's take a moment of silence and just reflect on the day and all its craziness. I'm running a little bit. I'm scrambling a little bit because I was trying to be fancy and make my setup a little bit better, and that failed. But it's all good. It's all good. But again, happy Wednesday, everybody. I see Mr. Dennis is in the building. How are you, sir? Welcome. As I'm getting set up here to go live, well, I'm already live, right? I'm setting up my phone so I can also go live on Instagram, because y'all know every week I go live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you see this beautiful hat I have on today from Good Beard Day, this is a beautiful black-owned business owned by my buddy Amir Young. Has had his brand for quite some time, and so I was able to get this from him the other day. Y'all know I love me some good black-owned businesses, because black-owned businesses are probably, supporting black-owned businesses is probably the best thing we all can do to improve our overall community in these crazy days and times. So I see Mr. Dennis is here. How you doing, Michael? Hey, Tiffany. Stacy Joe, how are you? Welcome. Adrian, how are you? Adrian. Roby, what's up, Roby? So me and Roby have connected. We were disconnected for a little while. I didn't even realize that she was gone. But I want to thank Roby because she reached out to me earlier this week and gave me some kudos on a couple of interviews that I did. Said they were very inspiring. The one was with Mr. Michael Knifewing from Netter Gold. So y'all make sure y'all check out Netter Gold. His main hub is on Instagram. But he does actually have a Facebook. Matter of fact, he has a Facebook and he has a YouTube account. So y'all check him out. All righty. Mr. Simmons, how are you, sir? Happy Wednesday. I hope all is well down in your neck of the woods. I know it's a bit crazy down there. Seems like it's crazy everywhere today. But I don't know. Lord Hughes, how you doing, sir? Happy Wednesday. And Thad Green, thanks, Thad. Thad's been sharing a lot of my stuff. I know all of y'all share my stuff, but I've been noticing Thad's been sharing my stuff and tagging me in my stuff, but I appreciate you all. Definitely appreciate you all. And yes, this is America. But while I have my hat on, just make sure y'all check out Good Beard Day, right? I had to get my Good Beard Day hat for my good beard, right? Always supporting black-owned businesses. And it's funny, right, because I have a bald head. And actually, I got a nice little 5 o'clock shadow going on right now. Y'all excuse me. But my head, I always like to have something to cover my head. So that's why I like to wear hats a lot of times. So what's good, y'all? How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling all right? Y'all feeling good? What questions do y'all have? What money questions do y'all have? I have a feeling I know what's on everybody's mind today. What dominated the zeitgeist today. But, y'all tell me, what's good today? What are y'all thinking about? How y'all feeling? Y'all tell me. How y'all feeling? As always, be sure to post your questions in the chat or the comment section below. Remember, Wealthy Wednesdays is the day that I answer all your questions. So what questions y'all got? How y'all feeling? Any money questions? Market did all right today. In spite of all this madness, market did okay. Matter of fact, I will go over the market real quick because the market actually did better than I expected it today with all of this state-grown terrorism that's going on. So I find it interesting that the market still did pretty good. So talk to me, y'all. right, let's see. We got a couple more in the chat. EV. Don Johnson's in the building. What's up, Don? How you doing? Thanks for that tweet today, that retweet. Don catches all the tweets. Don, do you live on Twitter, man? How do you survive? Twitter goes by so fast. It's crazy. Goes by so fast. It's crazy. All right, but now I'm finally going to set up my Instagram feed. We can get into it. We can definitely get into it. So, all right. So what questions y'all got? I got one question already in the hopper. I got it right before I got on. That question is, what's the difference between an LLC and an S Corporation? It seems like everybody has LLC and S Corporations on the brain this year and last year. A lot of foolishness going on LLC Twitter. a lot of misinformation being floated around in these social media spaces. So, it's always good when you're always thinking, well, it's always good to consult with someone when you are thinking about getting into business, about entity formation. And an entity is basically what is an LLC. An LLC is an entity. A partnership is an entity. A corporation is an entity. An S Corp is a part of a corporation or a type of corporation that has elected to be treated like an S Corp or a small business or a small corporation, right? So there's different kind of layers of this. And I've talked about this a lot, but again, my good brother Mayor Young, whose hat I just had on, tagged me in a post. So I definitely want to address that real quick. I have a feeling I know what y'all want to talk about, but it's all good. We can talk about it all. Money, politics, shenanigans. We can get at it. So go ahead and throw y'all comments in the chat. We are now live on Instagram now, finally. Hey, Nicole and Q Minus, how you doing? Welcome. See, you got a few more that joined in. Karan, what's up, bro? How are you, man? Did you enjoy all the shenanigans last night on Clubhouse? Is anybody on Clubhouse? If you are on Clubhouse, make sure you tap in with me on Clubhouse. My name on Clubhouse is just Kamari Ellis. All right, what do you think will happen to Alibaba? I don't know. Can we find the owner first? And I'm not laughing, right? I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing at the circumstance, just to be clear. How is the DC situation affecting money? We definitely going to talk about that. Mr. Boyd. Oh, man, I feel humble. My brother has stopped over to see me. I think this might be one of the first ones he's attended. All right, Don says just have to set the notifications for key accounts when they post. Oh, you got, okay. Enough said. All right, Jamal, you're on there now. Okay, cool. Yeah, it gets a little spicy on there, Jamal, but there's a lot of good stuff on there. A lot of healthcare. Well, you know what? I don't see a whole lot of healthcare talk. So you definitely could bring some healthcare, some healthcare combos over there. And I don't see I see some about nonprofits over there, but not a whole lot. So those are definitely things off the top of my head that I think you can immediately add value along with a myriad of other things. All right, so Adrian says, no, I'm blessed with an Android, so I can't join. So listen to all my team Android people. Y'all chose the losing team. Sorry. Y'all like them dudes down in the state capitol. But no, in all seriousness, the founders of Clubhouse have said that they are going to issue an update for Android very, very soon. It's coming. They have heard the cries of the many. They've heard the cries of folks. And so you definitely can get your Android fixed on the Clubhouse. Willard, you ain't right. What's up to you, Willard? Happy New Year. Matter of fact, Happy New Year to everybody. I think this is, am I correct? Is this the first broadcast? This is the first Wealthy Wednesdays of the new year, right? So Happy New Year to everybody. And so Willard's making fun. Now, you know what, Willard? It's funny because I had an idea and I said one of the things I want to incorporate into this show is financial meme shenanigans. So Willard is talking about a meme that's floating around, talking about how they can get an LLC, so he can get a quick $5,000 from the state. Just kidding, right? But there is a meme floating around saying that you can take the stimulus money and that's $600, the 600 stimmy, as some of the folks are saying, right? The 600 stimmy, and you can then flip that into an LLC. And then that LLC then becomes or then applies for some grants from the SBA. I've seen a 5K grant. I've seen a 10K grant, all the same verbiage, right? Just change that around a little bit. And then you can be in business. You can be popping. The meme did not say anything about a business, right? Anything about offering any value to the marketplace. No products, no services, no widgets, no chapstick. I feel like I'm feeling a little ashy, feeling a little crackheadish right now. So it doesn't talk anything about that at all. So, I find that interesting that everybody wants something for free. Everybody wants the get rich quick pill, blue or red. I forget which one it is, but nobody really wants to work, or at least that's the image that's portrayed on social media, right? Because I know there's a lot of people who actually want to work. I know there's a lot of people who actually don't want handouts, who actually want to work from the bottom to the top, from the mud to the skyscraper. But, they do need some help, handout here and there. That's fine. We all need help from time to time. But, this theory that's going on is that you can turn water into wine. So a lot of folks on these social medias thinks they're Black Jesus reincarnated, and that just ain't so. All right, so hold on. Dorothy Greer. Q minus, my name on Clubhouse is Kamari Ellis. So it's just CAMARIELLIS. And that's in like most of my social media handles. Hi, Dorothy Rogue. How you doing? Welcome. Jay Nice World. How you doing? Welcome. All right, so I got one question on Instagram that I'll get to. Give me 1 second. Just let me say a couple of hellos. Hey Jamal, you ain't bring me on your broadcast. What's up? I'm not flying if I ain't have on my polyester suit. No, I'll bring you on. I will send you I'll send you the link. I'll inbox you the link on Facebook. They need to delist. But do they really? Why at this point? Why do they need to delist? Why? And they talking about Alibaba, folks. Ticker symbol BABA. So let's jump into this real quick. There's a lot of docs. I'm not sure what you're talking about, GB. Adrian. Why you say SMH Roby? Happy New Year. Carice, I'm trying to get on Clubhouse and can't. You got an iPhone? Listen, I'm selling Clubhouse invites, $6.50 a piece. $19.99, $6.50 a piece, right? Plus $19.99 for shipping and handling. That's the going rate out on these social media streets, y'all. Carice, do you have an iPhone? Hey, Kay Landers, how you doing? The real Joanna Jane. What's up, lady? How you doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody, y'all. Listen, we walked out of 2020 and we walked into 2021. I saw another meme today that said 2020 is showing 2021 around. It was hilarious. Natasha, what's up, Tasha? How you doing? Team Android. All right, y'all can stay with Team Android. That's cool. No judgment. If y'all like the losers, if y'all want to be like the Republicans, who am I to judge? But listen, shout outs to Georgia. Shout outs to Senator-elect Warnock. Shout out to Senator-elect Asarov. I believe I'm saying his name right. They were both declared the winners today, the last I saw. Unless Trump has had his way to say, I need 11,700 plus votes in order to change and swing the state. But it looks like the people have spoken. So I just want to take a quick gander at the market real quick. We can go over that. And then we can get back to business. Because like I said, the market didn't fall off as much as I would have expected it to. It did pretty good. Now, if you're just joining and y'all don't know the rules, again, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is the Finance Rebel. I am the Finance Rebel. Every Wednesday, we do Wealthy Wednesdays. And Wealthy Wednesdays are dedicated to answering all of your money questions, tax questions, stock questions, investment, business, real estate. If it's a question about money, I pretty much can cover it. And why can I cover it? Because I've been in this industry, the financial services industry, for over 20 years, working in everything from accounting and tax to stock, financial advisor, life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance. I've basically done it all. And so I try to be a resource and share with you all for everyone that is looking to increase their financial IQ. And I try to make money matters simple, easy, and fun, right? Nobody wants to be bored to death. So I try to keep these light, lively, and fun so we can have a good time and still learn all at the same time. All right. I am Dominic Thompson. How are you? Trucking Box, how are you? Yep. Warnock and Asaraf have crossed the burning sands. Now, why is that important? Why? Because I know some of y'all are not political pundits and followers, and some of y'all are actually dissatisfied with the system. But politics is something that I try to keep up with as much as possible. By the way, throughout those 20 plus years, I've also been a campaign treasurer for many elected officials as well, and worked on many campaigns. So I know just a little bit. But Georgia is important because they had to have a runoff because the regular election back in November was too tight, too close to call, so they say. And so they had to have a runoff. Now, these two candidates that were running, that won today were Democrats. The two that lost were Republicans. Georgia is a very key state, was a very key state, because it is going to swing the Senate, right? So President-elect Joe Biden, when he comes in on January 20th, he will be coming into a Democratic-controlled House of Reps and a Democratic-controlled Senate. Not to mention that this beautiful black sister is going to be VP. Can anybody guess her name? I don't want to say her name wrong because everybody gets in trouble when they say her name wrong. Right? None other than Miss Harris, right? Miss Harris will be the VP. And so being the VP, the vice president, you automatically become, or part of your position is being also the president of the Senate. So you get to, or that position gets to make the tiebreaker rule if a tiebreaker were so to be needed. So it looks like all things are pointing up for the blue team, for the Democrats. If everybody knows me, y'all know I am party agnostic. I could care less about a party. I am a disciple of Malcolm X. I believe that the political black Bible is the ballot of the bullet, and we ignore it. But y'all don't want to hear me talk about that today. We can talk about that on another day. I probably will wind up referencing though. So Michael Dennis says she's Indian. So I hate that. When in black existence in this country have us, right, not being black ever mattered if we were quote unquote so-called intermingle with other people? The rule is, and I abide by this rule, some people don't. If you got one drop of black blood, you're considered an African, a Negro, a black person. And if you have that much, you will be deemed lynched if the KKK comes around, right? So I'm rocking with that. If y'all don't want to rock with that, cool. Plus, Kamala went to HBCU and she pledged. There's nothing about that sister who really emulates Indian culture. I know she celebrates her Indian culture. She acknowledges it. And I'm not trying to defame her Indian culture either, right? You can do both. But she black. I mean, like, I hate when people say mixed race and multi-race because that's not how they're going to be treated by mass society. And so I think sometimes that we get so caught into being politically correct and following dominant society, we miss out on the unity piece when we say, oh, they're mixed. Obama's mixed. He's mixed race. He's not really black. Michael Dennis, just because she was raised in India and Canada does not mean she's not black. Black is not only for people in the United States of America. There's a whole African diaspora out there from the Caribbean, right? With the Rastas and the Trinis and the Dominicans and many, many others to homeland, right? To the continent, to Ghana and Nigeria and Angola and South Africa, right? There's black folks are all over the planet. I mean, if you don't rock with that, I'm not trying to convince you. I rock with that. Yeah. The American thing for me, I'll be quite honest, doesn't really matter. Um, Donald Trump's daddy wasn't American either. Well, I'm sorry, his granddaddy wasn't American. I don't think. Yes, in Australia, there's definitely African people of the diaspora in Australia, all over the planet. But I don't think that really matters. I don't think that really matters. I mean, number one, first and foremost, right? I'm black, so I can talk about these things from a black issue and just from a purely political issue, right? Because sometimes they are not the same. And if we're going to be sophisticated and we're looking to win, we have to be able to talk about, analyze, and review them from a black lens and from an overall political lens. And that goes for everything, in my opinion. But I don't think American matters, right? You see these. I was about to say something. You see these folks climbing through windows and taking selfies with the police in the Capitol, and they're all born in America. What does that mean? I mean, why do we care what a European construct and what a European landmark, which is labeled as to identify with? Why do we care? Us that first came here as capital. Why do we care? Yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, I study this. I would, if you got more, we can go into it. I don't want to bore everybody else. If y'all get bored with us talking politics, I do have some questions on deck. I definitely will get to them. I think a lot of people who push back are either questioning her father, who's supposedly biracial as well, or the ADOS. Yeah, I don't really rock with ADOS. Anytime you're talking about separation, I can't rock with it. Period, point blank. And some of the other divisive things they've done, I'm cool. I'm cool. No diss to nobody, but I've said this before on this show. The key to our success, the key to us thriving, the key to us surviving is in unity. Every other ethnic group gets that except for us. And we want to get caught into nationalities. I'm into being black, right? And if that don't work, then cool, I'm an African descendant. If that don't work, I'm a melanated person. If that don't work, I'm a child of the sun. It all comes back to being black, though, right? I don't care about a nationality. Nationalities was drafted and drawn up by people who considered me an animal, who probably still consider me an animal, right? And so a lot of times when we talk about being American, I always say, like, go back and look at Plessy versus Ferguson, which is a court case that went to the Supreme Court, right? Go back and look at why we're considered 3/5 of a human being. Go back, and it's either the 14th or 15th Amendment. We were anybody born in the United States. Anybody born in the United States is deemed as a United States citizen. Air quotes, right? Supposedly. But we all know there's two separate Americas. King talked about that years ago, before his passing. There are two Americas. There's poor America and there's rich America, or more wealthily inclined or more richly inclined, right? There's entitled America and there's working America. There's black America and there's white America. I mean, when you look at it, black America always gets the short end of the stick. And it's my belief, just from my studies, that I don't necessarily want to classify myself as those who've been my enemy all these years. I don't see any win in that, just because I was born here. I get a lot of flack, and y'all got me on a rant right now, so I'm admitting that. But I get a lot of flack because I talk about the Jewish community and many of the customs and culture that the Jewish communities practice. The Jewish community don't give a damn about what country they're in. There's a lesson to be learned there. You got Russian Jews, you got German Jews, you got French Jews, you got Israeli Jews, right? And the Israeli Jews, or let's talk about Jews in general, they went and took a whole country. And it didn't just happen in 1948. It started back in the 1800s. But I'm nerding out. I don't want to go that far. Point being is that there's unity in numbers. Go back and read some Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana after it was freed. Look at Mosiah Marcus Garvey. Look at W.E.B. Du Bois. Look at Malcolm X. They all were of a Pan-African bent or ilk. That was their thing. They didn't get into this whole nationality thing. Marcus Garvey was Jamaican. Most of his stuff was talking about Africa for Africans. And yes, people born abroad that were not born in the homeland, he considered Africans. W.E.B. Du Bois was also a Pan-African. So, sorry for the rant, folks, but that's just my take. That's just my take. So, all right, so let's look at the stock market. Let's look at the stock market real quick. Any questions, go ahead and throw them in. I see there is a question on IG. I will come to that in a second. All right, so that kind of ties into what we're about to look at right now, Nicole. So great question. Thank you. All right, so if y'all can see this, sorry for my people on IG, but I have CNBC up, right? I always tell y'all that some of the best places to go to start learning about the stock market is downloading CNBC, the app on your phone, because we all use phones, whether you're Team Loser or Team Android. I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing. All right, or Team Apple, right? You can download those apps. I also would suggest that you download the Yahoo Finance or the finance.yahoo.com app or the Yahoo Finance app. You can download both of those, right? And look at them. Right at the top of the screen, it tells us how the market did today. Now, remember, these indicators like the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, they're all just kind of indicators of what the broad market did for today. All right. So the Dow Jones is the 30, some of the 30 biggest stocks. The S&P 500 is the 500 largest stocks. The NASDAQ is basically an index of, I want to say 2,000 stocks. I need to look that up, but about 2,000 stocks. Most of the NASDAQ is technology, though. All right. So the NASDAQ closed at 30,829, up 109 points, about 0.25% up. All right. The S&P 500 closed at 3761, up 0.5 percentage point. All right, up 21% up 21 bucks for the day. The NASDAQ was up the NASDAQ closed at 12,719, up 103 points for the day, closing up a little under 1%, or let's say 0.75%. All right, so I think that the market will probably be okay. I don't like to get into trying to forecast the market because I don't have good crystal balls. I need to give me a new order of crystal balls, and some bones and some tarot cards to kind of read the future. But I don't really get into the forecast game. I do think the market is going to continue to go up. I do think we will have a correction at some point. And actually, I think it's going to be more than just a correction. I think we're going to have a crash at some point. But I do believe in the stock market overall. Now as I'm going through this, I'm thinking I have to answer another question too. So I got 2 questions on deck that I need to answer. All right. Now, interestingly enough, oil closed over $50 today. $50.74. $50.74 a barrel. Hasn't been that high since last year sometime. I want to say it was around March or February. And ironically, the U.S. 10-year, now you're probably asking me, what in the world is the U.S. 10-year? The U.S. 10-year is the U.S. government bond. It rose. It closed above 1%. So before it was super duper low. Now, the U.S. 10-year is everything kind of tracks to the U.S. 10-year, especially mortgage rates, sometimes credit card rates. But as it goes up, we're going to expect to see what? We're going to expect to see more mortgage rates go up, or higher mortgage rates go up. So you always kind of want to pay attention to some of these indicators just to kind of give you a clue at what's going on in the overall market. All right. Ms. Nita, how you doing? Welcome. I don't know how to say your name. Sequoia. I hope I'm not butchering your name, but welcome. All right. So again, if y'all have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. All right. So question was, and I didn't have a chance to type this out because I saw it at the last minute. Question was, matter of fact, let me grab my iPad real quick, y'all, so I can actually answer the question that was asked. right. So Michael Dennis asked, unity based on which group as the base? Africans. That's the base. But I know that language is a little scary for some folks. All right. So I got to go on Facebook. Now, I got this question over in the Black Owned Business Group. So let me grab that real quick. And Jamal, I haven't forgotten about you. I will give that to you shortly, sir. Give that to you shortly. While we're waiting, go ahead and throw your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. I will definitely be looking out for them, and we can talk about it all, y'all. Nothing's off limits. If I could just find this question. All right, so here's the question. It was in the Black Owned Business Group in Facebook. What's the difference between the LLC and the S Corp? My business is beginning to grow more and more, and I'm hiring my first employee soon. Also, is there an accountant in this group? I didn't even see the accountant part. But true to form, I always want to try to answer the questions first, right? Serve the people first. Stewardship is one of my favorite words. And so that's why I always try to honor the people first. All right, so what's the difference between the LLC and the S Corp? LLC, a limited liability company, okay, a limited liability company, and an S Corporation, right? They are entities, they are business, different forms of business. They are there first and foremost to protect liability or protect the owners from liability. All right. Not really about taxes for the most part. There are some tax benefits for some of these different entities, right? But first and foremost, they are about liability protection. For example, let's say you're going to business and you're a truck driver and you're driving along and you hit somebody and your business is in an LLC and the truck is business owned. And I'm just kind of giving you the quick and dirty of this all, right? You may have some, because that's a complicated situation when you have a car accident, you may have some liability protection, and I'm assuming the accident is your fault. You may have some liability protection from the people that you hit, so they can't come back and sue you and take your home or take any other assets or any other businesses you may own. All right. Same thing for a corporation, whether it be an S Corp or a C Corp. That's an LLC. S Corp, same thing. C Corp, same thing. It's a form of protection. Now, there are some differences. A lot of times these LLCs, which people have, they are considered a solo member LLC. So that's a LLC for one person and one person alone. There's no other ownership in that group. They still file their tax returns the same way as a regular individual does. It files a 1040, and they still have to report all their income on, their personal tax return. But if something were to happen, it helps protect them from potentially getting sued. Potentially. It's not foolproof. You have to do a lot of other things. Now, the lady also asked, is it better to have an S Corp? It depends. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of Jack Lake folks running around out here saying that everybody should get S Corps or corporations. Again, it depends. All right. There are no cookie cutter situations, but an S Corp is just a corporation that has decided to elect S Corp status. Okay. It has elected S Corp status. So you can file for your corporation and then you can tell the IRS that you want to elect S Corp status. The reason people do that is it makes it a little bit easier. The tax return issue, the taxes flow through. All right, let me back up. With LLCs, you know what, y'all? I messed up the flow of that. So let me back up one more time. You also can have an LLC that is not just solo members. All right, you can have an LLC that is for partners, and you are treated like a partnership. So there's a little bit of a distinction there. All right, that money that you make with the LLC, with the partnership, it still goes to your personal tax return. So they're called pass-through entities. All right. An S Corp is also considered a pass-through entity. So any profits or any losses you might make in the LLC for the partnership or the S Corp, you pass along to your personal tax return. All right. There is a bit of a difference though with the S Corp than with the LLC for your average individual, because she said she's hiring an employee. By the way, you can hire an employee with an LLC. You can hire an employee with a partnership. You can hire an employee with the S Corp. You can hire an employee with a regular corporation as well. Now, the difference is between your regular LLC that, one individual might have and an S Corp is when you become profitable, and with that S Corp, they want you to take a market rate salary, or what's called a reasonable salary. So you have a lot of people who are electing to do S Corp. They don't take a salary. And so they don't get taxed on what's considered self-employment tax or SE tax. They're cheating the system. The IRS is hip to that. So when folks don't take a salary, when you have an employee owner who is not taking his salary, it becomes a red flag. All right. So when you see that, when you become an S Corp, again, you have other things. You still have to do your notes. Your yearly or annual minutes, right? You don't have to do that with you don't have to do that with an LLC. You do have to do that with a C Corp. And, you have some other things you have to do. You have to start thinking about keeping balance sheets. You got to do better books across the board. And so a lot of times people are seeing these terms being thrown around social for saying everybody should have an LLC, everybody should have an S Corp. It really depends. Sometimes you don't need anything. Sometimes the best thing to have is a sole proprietorship. And yes, you can hire an employee as a sole proprietorship too. So I believe her name was Mariah. So Mariah, if you're listening to this, just let me know. If you have any more questions about this, let me know. But at the end of the day, to really answer your question, it all depends. Now, I will say this. It usually doesn't make sense to convert from an LLC to, let's say, an S Corp until you're really, really profitable, right? Because then that's when you might see some tax savings from the conversion. But for the most part, your expenses and your tax deductions are your expenses and your tax deductions. You don't get a whole lot of difference. What you will benefit on with the S Corp versus the LLC is potentially saving on self-employment tax. However, when you pay yourself a salary, let me back up. SE, right? Your self-employment tax is also a payment to Medicare and Social Security. That's why that's there. That's there for your sole proprietors, anybody that's not employed. So you still have to pay the taxes. However, when you become when you become an S Corp, an S Corporation, you then get to take a market rate salary, and it can be above or below what you're getting with your profits. So it all depends. So you get a little bit more flexibility on how you're going to be taxed. So it can wind up being cheaper. It can, not always though. So you always got to run the numbers. Anytime you're doing any kind of analysis or tax planning, you have to run the numbers because it always depends. And anybody that's giving you this blanket answers like, yes, you'll save money, you're good. By the way, that just made me think of something. Please don't go to people who guarantee you refunds or that will guarantee you $10,000 in a refund during tax season. I know we're coming up to it. People about to go crazy. Anybody that can offer you and guarantee you a tax refund, 9 times out of 10 is a crook. They're a scammer. And yes, we are in full-fledged scammer season, people. So don't get caught up with the scams. I know people are going to do it anyway. Every time they say, well, my guy got me back $6,000 last year. I get it all the time, but it doesn't mean anything because 9 times out of 10 when they say that, a lot of times the guy did something kooky anyway and it wasn't legal. And I ain't got time to go to jail. I ain't got time for none of that. Nothing at all. All right. So Angela, how are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Hello and happy Wednesday to you too. All right. So the VP Suite, how are you doing there? Twizzle, how are you? Butterfly Diva, how are you? Sam's Petta, how are you? Hope I'm saying your name right. The Key I Am. I like that. The Key I Am. Welcome. Listen, it's Wealthy Wednesdays. I'm Kamari Ellis. This is the Finance Rebel. This is the Finance Rebel Show. The Finance Rebel Show is all about increasing your financial IQ and making learning about money simple, easy, and fun. Everybody's trying to get to the bag, but a lot of us want to take the shortcut. We got to learn the basics, right? We got to have a foundation. We got to have a solid foundation so we can build floors up on that foundation. It can be sturdy and it can last the test of time. Listen, anytime people learn more about finances, learn more about financial literacy or financial education, it always helps them, right? Because everything goes back to money some way, somehow, in some form or fashion. Whether you're getting a job, credit scores are a part of employment now. Credit scores, a lot of times, are a part of insurance. The better you can understand your credit, the better you can do. The better you can save, typically, the better your credit will be, right? Because you have more control and discipline over your money. The more you can invest, the better you'll be off saving for retirement, or if you're a part of the FIRE community, right? You can retire early, or just taking care of the next generations. It all comes back to education. A lot of times we are bombarded with financial information, and it's always from a sales perspective. Somebody's trying to sell us something. Somebody's trying to extract money from our pockets, but their interests are aligned with them getting paid, not necessarily with you being educated, with you making good decisions. Sadly, that's the reality we live in. But the way you defend against that, because you know what it is, right? Everybody knows if you're going to be confronted with a salesperson, you need to arm up. And what I mean by arm up is you need to get your education on. You need to be highly educated about whatever it is you are going to do. All right. Doesn't mean you can't lean on a financial advisor or a financial planner, but you need to have some information. The richest people are highly financially literate. And if that's the goal, if wealth is truly the goal, then everybody should be deep in the books when it comes to financial education and financial literacy. And all y'all know that's been rocking me for a minute, I hate the term financial literacy, because who in the world just wants to be literate? Would you tell your child that's become literate when it comes to reading? You can do your ABCs. You can do your 1, 2, 3s. But when it comes to writing a sentence or a paragraph, God forbid, an essay, they're stuck. So it's time for us to move beyond just financial literacy. We gotta take things to the next level, y'all. It's time for us to become financial masters. Now, I know everybody ain't gonna want to do it, but that's the goal. That's the goal. If you're really serious about leaving money and a legacy to your next generation. All right. So let's see. We got some other. Anyway, so Michael says, anyway, he tired of me. What's the hope for Nikolai? Will the company ever be competition for Tesla? I don't know. Nikolai still hasn't really sold anything. I'm not a fan of Nikolai or Tesla. Now, Tesla supposedly is going to have some new inroads in China, be able to sell some more stuff in China. They sold a boatload of cars, they sold more cars in 2020, but I still don't see where Tesla is squarely profitable. I know they made profits the last 5 quarters. But when I say squarely, I'm talking about it's not a thin margin. It's not a guess. It's not an accident. It's legit. They made money. They're able to sell cars and sell them plentiful and sell them in a systematic fashion that we know Tesla will sell, 200 cars a year. And then you can start planning against that. But when you look at the math of Tesla and the price of Tesla and how long it would take your average investor to break even on Tesla, it's a long time. It's a little out of whack. So, all right. M Music Man 1982. How are you, sir? Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Good evening to you as well. All right. So what y'all got? I got one more thing. My buddy Jamal might jump on with me. What y'all got? What questions do y'all have? I know I saw a question about politics. 126 messages. How are you? All right, Kayla says, thank you for telling them that. Please let them know they will be paying the $1,200. They will be paying $1,200 on that 2000. Well, no, they're not paying $1,200 on that 2020 taxes. There's a credit for it. So Kayla is talking about the stimulus. So there is the stimulus payment was just an advance credit payment that everybody got. All right. And it's not taxable. You do have to declare it on your taxes. They still haven't figured out how exactly it's going to work. I'm expecting the 2021 tax season to be a total mess, but you're not paying taxes on stimulus. Shot by CEO XL. How are you? Happy Wednesday. All right. So let me do this real quick, y'all, so I can send this over to Jamal. And going forward, y'all, I want to have more shows where a lot of y'all start to join in and hop on with me, and we begin to have a conversation. It's all about community, y'all. I don't want to just talk at you. I want to talk with you. All right. All right. So Karan says, what's up, Karan? You never told me. I know you said Chatty House, as Jimmy, my man, likes to call it. But how Clubhouse was last night. I know you said it was a little ratchet, but you didn't find any entertainment from it at all? I'm not going to talk about the specifics of that room. All right. So Karan says, are grants taxable? I received a grant from FB for my business. Just wondering, do I have to pay for that? So that's a trick question. Sometimes grants are, sometimes they are not. Most times they are not. You always have to read the fine print. I knew some other people that got the FB grant. Read the fine print, read the fine print, read the fine print. They said in that grant that they might come back to verify to see how you spent that money. So I advised a client of mine who got that money to spend it all now. Put it all, have all the receipts in place, right? So whatever you wanted to use the grant for, buy everything you wanted. If you wanted to get new equipment, just make sure you keep the receipts for it, but use that money up now. Keep the receipts in one place, like scan up all the receipts and have them. So if they do come back to check you, you can easily produce the receipts and you can say, yo, I spent this money on a camera, a laptop, a mixer, lighting, a new location, whatever it may be. All right. And we'll see if Jamal's coming in or not. He might have got bored and walked away or something. So Garage says it was so entertaining. All right. So the other question I got asked on Instagram, and I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find the exact question. Give me 1 second, y'all. Again, while we're waiting, go ahead and throw your questions in the comment section or the chat section. If you're on IG, go ahead and put them in on the question mark bubble down at the bottom. But I know I was asked this question on Instagram. I said I would do it. I never got a chance to get back to it. So I figured I would talk about it during tonight's show. Let's see. Give me 1 second. 1 second, and I will come back to y'all. All right, so this is from Ralph Turner. Sherwin, 1906, how are you? All right, so he said, is there an episode that you talk about why you prefer stocks over real estate? I currently do both and wanted to hear your perspective. Okay, and so I said I would definitely share that on a comment. So basically, we want to have a stocks over real estate. Now, y'all been rocking with me for a minute. Does anybody know the answer to that question? Can anybody tell me why I like stocks over real estate? It's a very personal, very very important thing. Nayo, I need you to do one of these with me soon. We about to get busy. Dion TC, how are you? Happy Wednesday. Forgot the day real quick. Unique 79, how are you doing, Unique one? All right, Dax says, do you recommend any particular bookkeeping system? I use QuickBooks. My clients use QuickBooks Online to be particular. Niall's going to be very proud of me because Niall is actually like the QuickBooks queen. She is so plugged in with QuickBooks. It's crazy, right? She gets advertisement on QuickBooks. She's in like all their magazines. So, y'all always say, a couple people, not always, but a couple people say, well, Kamari, why would you advertise somebody that does the same work as you? I don't believe in competition, folks. I believe in unity. I practice it every day. All right. I strive for unity amongst my peers. So that's what we do. So Niall's great. Check her out. If you have any more questions about bookkeeping, you could also holler at me as well. Motion Tony, you says TurboSax said they're fixing the issue. What issue? Motion Tony? I just said I use QuickBooks. I'm not really a TurboTax fan, but shout out to TurboTax because TurboTax is definitely killing the market. I get a lot of clients. I get a lot of clients who make mistakes on TurboTax. Rushing, especially my real estate investors that are too cheap to hire a professional, but they'll buy this big old building and they want to get rich and they want to become wealthy, but they won't spend somebody or a professional to help them, one, save money on taxes, make sure they're in compliance, make sure they don't get gouged, and make sure that they don't overpay Uncle Sam. But it is what it is. Okay, so now I had a bad experience with renters. Clues. Karan says I grew up in real estate. That is factual. It's funny. I was telling my dad the other day, I said, yeah, Dad, you're a house hacker. He's like, what in the world is a house hacker? He said, when you buy one piece of property, well, when you have a multi-unit, you live in one and you rent out the others. He's like, that's what that's called? House hacking? I said, yeah. I said, I know you've been doing it since the 80s, but now that's what they call it. So I've seen it all my life, never knew it was called house hacking. Miss Warwick, Miss 10,000K Project. Everybody go check out the 10,000, is it the 10,000K Project, right? Or is it the Black 10,000K Project? But anyway, Cherie and Talisha and I'm trying to think of the other sister's name. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But anyway, they're building a platform so we can all invest in Black-owned businesses, y'all. So the premise is, the thesis is, if we can get 1,000 people together, 1,000 households together, and they all put up or contribute $100, right? We can fund some of these businesses up to $1 million. So they're doing it right. They're doing all the SEC work. Karan, you know, we were in that room where they were talking about that SEC talk and how people are not in compliance. They're not doing it like that. They're doing it right. So, you know, everybody check them out. The 10K Project, or the Black 10K Project. Cherie, forgive me for getting it mumbled up just now. All right, Winfrey says, a question. I'd like to roll over some of my 401k accounts to a Roth IRA. What would you advise? So Winford, all right, I'll jump you in real quick before I answer the other question, just so I don't lose it. Are you still working at the company where your 401k is, or is this an old 401k? If you are working at the company where the 401k is, 9 times out of 10, you're not able to roll it over into an outside Roth IRA. I would check with your employer to see if they have a Roth 401k, because Roth 401ks are a thing. Roth 401ks are actually very, very powerful. Real quick, the difference between an IRA and a Roth IRA is usually the money in a traditional IRA goes in after tax. The money that goes into a Roth goes in pre-tax. All right. So you pay tax on the money in the traditional IRA. You do not pay tax on the money in the Roth. It typically grows tax-free. And guess what? You can pull it out tax-free. And I'm sorry, the Roth is after-tax money, not pre-tax money. So my apologies for that. But yeah, looking at that now, if it's an old 401k from an old job, you can do that as well. You might have to pay some tax on that. Connect with me offline, and I definitely can help you with that. All right. Angela saying hello, Cherie. Cherie's a superstar in here. All right. Creepio has a link that can give you a discount if you want it. Put it in there. Now it says Black-owned business. Buy Black-owned. Hey, I got my $100 ready. Put the link up, please. All right. So let me before I answer your question, Don, let me finish what I was about to say. So the question was, why do I prefer stocks over real estate? Now, a lot of times people get this misconstrued, right? To me, I'm asset agnostic. Again, I do have a preference for the stock market. Why do I have a preference for the stock market? Because the stock market over the last 93 years or 100 years has returned roughly between 8 and 9% historically. I know that sounds like a little itty bitty money, right? Because you're seeing stock market gains, like for 2020, there was like a 15% market gain. And we haven't seen a bad market in a long time, since 2008, 2009. However, 8% is pretty good, y'all. It's damn good, especially when you can put 8% away in, let's say, an index fund or in a ETF, and you don't have to do anything to it. That's damn good, y'all. Damn good. All right. So I tell folks I'm lazy. I don't want to do a whole bunch of work because my clients run me ragged as is. All right. So I've owned real estate. I did grow up with real estate. My dad was a real estate investor, still is a real estate investor. My dad also was a property manager, right? And guess who else had the privilege, because it was a privilege, to do property management on the real estate side. And I think when I was running my dad's business, I managed somewhere between, I had to go back and do a count, but it's somewhere between, I want to say 35 and 50 doors all in. Now, they weren't our properties. We managed them for clients. Pain in the butt. Some of my clients, I felt, were slumlords. I don't like slumlords. I don't like anything slummy. Some people call me bougie. I'm just average everyday roundaway filet. But I don't like slumlords. I have a hard and fast rule that I believe if you take care of your property and you give your renters a good product, you can get better tenants. However, there are cheap people out here that do not want to take care of their properties and they're trying to eke out every bit of profit out of their property. And they don't realize that in the long run, your management costs and your management issues usually will outweigh the money you save on some sheetrock and some paint and some good faucets and a good toilet. And again, I don't get it, but some people just by nature are cheap. I think you should be frugal. Frugal and cheap are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. Frugal and cheap are not the same things. I think we should be frugal. You want to get the best bang for your buck, right? You want to get the best bang for your buck. Cheap is you just want low cost. There's a difference. There's a big difference. All right. So I've had some war stories doing property management. I've had people call me at 2 a.m. in the morning because their toilet was clogged. I've had heating issues. I've had bad tenant issues. And I'm not a good property manager, right? I'll tell you that right now. I am not a good property manager as it relates to tenant relations when it comes to them not paying their rent. There's a story that there was a homeless single father who I let stay 4 or 5 months over the time where he should have been evicted. I felt bad for him. Why? I was a single father at the same time myself. So, sometimes having a heart doesn't pay. But sometimes there are people in the system that will scam you as well. So at some point, I probably will get back into the market. But with my experience with institutional investing, because I did work on Wall Street trading money at a firm, well, a couple firms actually that had a little under $1 billion, I feel like I can do way better in the stock market than I can do in real estate. But at some point, I'm sure I will jump back in and get a few pieces here, a few pieces there. I don't really have a need to be a quote unquote real estate mogul like everybody is advertising it to be. But I will definitely get property management. Definitely. All right, so what we got here? Okay, yes, the 10kproject.com. The 10kproject.com. Everybody go check that out. All right, so coming back to Don's questions, can I pull contributions out of a Roth 401k? So it depends on your plan document. Usually no, though. But it depends on your plan document. Every 401k plan has a different plan document. All right, and so Chrome Lemon says, is 1.75 too much to pay for the services of a financial advisor on top of fund fees? Ooh, that's a great question. That's what I used to do. That's a trick question. It depends on the performance. Chrome Lemon, what else are they doing for you? I would say though 1.75% on top of fund fees is a little hefty. However, I don't know how much money you make or invested, right? I don't know what your AUM is, assets under management. When I was managing assets, I had a tiered structure. So anything under 100,000 was probably about 1.5%. Going up to about 500,000, it was teetering around somewhere around 1% or 100 basis points. And usually at $1 million or more, I'm probably looking at 0.75% or 75 basis points. But it depends. It really depends. And the fees that they're giving you, I mean, the fees shouldn't be that much. Again, I don't know what they're using. I don't know if they're using ETFs. I don't know if they're using loaded mutual funds. It really depends. Give me a little bit more context, and I might be able to give you some more answers. Now, if you're looking at the hedge fund space, right, where 2 and 20 is kind of the minimum or the norm, rather, where you're paying 2% every year on your assets, and you pay 20% of profit because they're killing the game and they're really good, supposedly really good. But if that's not the case and it's just a regular financial advisor, it also really depends on what are they doing for you. Are they doing tax planning? Are they helping you do life planning? Are they helping you do life insurance planning, estate planning, things like that? Are they just a financial advisor or are they a wealth advisor? There is a difference. All right. So again, it just really depends. It really depends. All right. So Winfred says he's still working at home. So at the company, excuse me. So Winfred, check and see if you're talking about a Roth 401k. And so if you're talking about a Roth 401k, I would highly, strongly suggest you look deeply at it and start contributing to it. All right. And again, Cherie's project is the 10K project, or Cherie's business is the 10K project. Check them out. All right, we got some sisterly love going on here. Don Johnson says Chrome Lemonade is way too high in fees, in my honest opinion. Niall says, I don't know. All right, and Cherie says you can come to an intro session on Monday at 6 p.m. to learn more about the 10K project. I think, Cherie, you and Niall should actually connect. That's my personal recommendation to both of you. Cherie, I know you're doing more to educate people and get people connected with great accountants and bookkeepers. Niall, I highly recommend her. You're going to see me and Niall do some things together in the future as well. She's super dope. She's a bully. She's a bully. She be beating on me, y'all, but it's all in love. And every chance I get, I try to beat back on her. But I don't believe in beating in women. All right, just want to say that. All right, Manuel says, will the attempted coup and overthrow of our government today affect the markets? I don't think so. What I think is the shenanigans with these racist folks who were down there at the Capitol today will be squashed. National Guard is going in. However, I do wonder what other cells are out there. Me and Manuel is like one of my radio mentors. He's the reason why I'm doing this now. So definitely shout out to Manuel. But I don't think that's going to last. I mean, they didn't look very organized today. It was just a bunch of people and it was helter-skelter. It does question, though, why the Capitol and the Capitol Police weren't as prepared as they were when some of the Black Lives Matter folks weren't there. But that's a whole other thing. And I kind of expect that to a certain degree. I don't look for fairity when it comes to the system and Black folks. But again, that's another thing. It's another little Kamari idiosyncrasy. All right. So Chrome Lemon says, Don Johnson, I think so too, but I'd like to hear what Kamari has to say. Thanks for chiming in, brother. Yeah. Chrome Lemon, did you put any more context in there? Sometimes these comments jump on me. I'm welcome. Thank you. Where? I'm not sure what we're talking about now. Winfred says, under what circumstances would you invest in real estate investment trust? I invest in real estate investment trust now. So you know what? Going back to Ralph's question, I am investing in real estate. You know why? Because real estate investment trusts can be brought to the stock market. But there's two types of real estate investment trusts. You have your public ones that are traded on stock market, and then you have non-public ones that are private. Typically, they have higher restrictions and some more stipulations you have to adhere to in order to get into them. But when I was at FA, a lot of people brought those from me. So I like them all. It depends. I will say this, though. I do not like the super duper commercial spaces for real estate investment trusts right now. The malls are getting hammered. All right. Pennsylvania PREIT, or Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust, just came out of bankruptcy. So if you're from the Philly area, you know that's the mall. That's the company that owns Willow Grove and King of Prussia. I think they have like $1 billion in debt because they just refaced the malls, Willow Grove and King of Prussia, to make them a bit more sexier, to give it a little bit more sizzle. And the economy went to hell in a handbasket. So, and plus there's an there's too much commercial real estate in terms of malls on the market anyway, especially when you have malls like King of Prussia, Mall of America, some of these outlet centers. So a lot of that is already saturated. So it's cool. But what I do like, and this is not an investment recommendation to buy or sell anything. Remember, past performance is not an indicator of future results, which means that just because an investment did good or bad in the past doesn't mean it'll do good or bad in the future. All right. Talk to your investment and or tax advisor before you make any investment decisions. But I like a lot of the healthcare REITs, some of the medical REITs. The population is getting older in the United States. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be here for quite some time. And so I think there's some room for that, and they pay a great dividend. So they got good cash flow. Well, some of them, right? It's a sector of the REITs, but a lot of them have, from an economical standpoint, they have the population of aging people in America is just getting older. All right. So from an economic standpoint, that area, I believe, still has room to go. And also data storage, but data storage is kind of overpriced now, in my opinion. All right. Chrome Lemon says the agency in question is Northwest Mutual Insurance Agent. Okay. So it's an insurance shop. A lot what's happening now in the industry is we're seeing a lot of the insurance people starting to sell investments, and vice versa a little bit. I'm not a big fan of that model, even though it's here. I actually came out of that model, just to be totally honest with you, because usually they're selling investments as an afterthought. Their bread and butter is usually insurance, but they're selling investments as an afterthought kind of, and usually they're having somebody else manage it. They're not managing it. So I think you could find some better people for, what was it, 1.75 or 1.5%. I don't know how much money we're talking, but inbox me, and maybe I can help you find somebody. Yeah. But Preet also owns Willow Grove and Plymouth Meeting, Quran. Oh, you love me? Okay. That's like the dude who gives his lady a black eye and say, I love you. I'm going to take you away so we can watch the sunset later. All right. But I appreciate those coaching sessions, or what you're calling coaching sessions. Jackie Mayfield, how are you, lady? Who's that? J Mill Vita. Oh, that's Jack the first three. What's up, Jack? How you doing? Bob Black. Yes, sir. I try all the time. Matter of fact, I don't know when you got on, but I just brought this hat. Good Beard Day. Everybody go check out Good Beard Day. That's my man Amir. Solid people's over there. That's actually good quality. I might have to get me a Finance Rebel hat now. Scully. So when I'm out in the winter, my bald head won't get too cold. All right, if anybody has any questions, feel free to go ahead and throw them in the chat. Latoya Jones, how are you? Welcome. A Smith 81, welcome. Auburn Torrey, welcome. P Wills, welcome. All right, yeah, and so SPG, Simon Property Group, owns the King of Prussia. Yep. All right, so Chrome Lemon says the agent doing an all-encompassing financial plan where overfunded whole life takes a strong position. So I feel like he's just pushing insurance. I just told you that. But listen, I have clients that I recommend overfunding life insurance. I have no problem with overfunding life insurance. It can be a very, very powerful tool, especially a powerful tool to lower your tax rates, especially if you have a lot of cash in the bank. So again, every plan, right? Listen, there is no such thing as a bad financial tool, right? Whether it be insurance, investments, annuities, it's just bad financial strategy. So make sure you get your financial strategy together. But give me a call, Chrome Lemon. Give me a call or send me a text. Send me a text, 215-974-0058. 215-974-0058. And I could try to help you walk through the process. All right. And anybody else that wants to join my text community, all those texts come to me directly, right? So it's not me. It is me. Excuse me. It is me. It's not a robot. It is not. It is not an automated bot responding to you. So it's me. All right. So text me at 215-974-0058. Hey, Mills, did Rocky reach out to you? No. Who's Rocky? It's so sweet. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. All right, y'all, just to kind of reset things, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is the Finance Rebel Show. Today, Wednesday, every Wednesday is Wealthy Wednesdays. On Wealthy Wednesdays, I answer your questions about taxes, insurance, investment, stocks, what have it, business, real estate. If it's about money, we talk about it. I've been in the industry for over 20 plus years and worked about just every facet of finance and business and tax. So I could kind of give it to you all, folks. Give it to you for all. Let's see. But yeah, who's Rocky, J-Mel? My email system's going off at 9:00 at night. What kind of life is that to live, y'all? Can you recommend some healthcare rents to look at? I know you've been to say REITs. Recommend? No, I can't recommend them. I'll share some of those that I am looking at, because this show is all about education and entertainment purposes only. All right. J-Mills, the number is 215-974-0058. Look at a company called Peak, P-E-A-K. Check it out. Again, that's not a recommendation. And I actually hate giving y'all stuff because sometimes y'all just go buy it, don't research it, and be like, Kamari, I brought this because you brought it. No, that ain't how it works, y'all. You got to do your homework. Don't do that. Don't put me under that kind of pressure. Let's see. All right. So at what point in the economic downturn felt by so many with pandemic will trigger crash in the stock market? When people get really, really scared. When people are looking to take profits, potentially. But usually every cycle, the economic cycle, the business cycle, the stock market cycle, they all kind of follow closely. It happens time and time again. And so you'll see it. I talked about this. I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago, matter of fact. I talked about the stock market cycle, very closely linked to the economic cycle, because people are definitely hopped up now on the vaccine juice. People are thinking that everything's going to be over. One of the things that could bring it down to kind of give you an answer, if this second wave or this new strand of COVID comes out and it's worse than what people are predicting, that could be a bad thing. If Trump, here's another example, if Trump continues to show his whole flat orange behind, that could be another issue as well. If Trump continues to incite a lot of yellow spine racist people, that could be another instance of what could potentially trigger an economic downturn. But we're already in one. LOL, I thought it was a bot. What did you think was a bot, Carice? But what do you think about NIO? Isn't NIO the electronic battery company? A lot of y'all have asked me about NIO before, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think it's the electronic battery company. I believe it has something to do with EV rather. So I'm pulling NIO, but I know somebody in the audience knows. $51. Here, I will share the screen real quick. Listen, we'll probably wrap up in about 10 minutes. Y'all know I need my vittles, need my sustenance, my foods, so I don't pass out. Full of sunshine. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday over there on IG. Mid-Atlantic. Oh, okay. So Mid-Atlantic is putting out there a read. I think that's the digital read. I think IIPR is the read he's talking about over on Instagram. I'll pull that up as well. Oops, give me 1 second, y'all. So listen, we're going to wrap up in a minute. So any questions you might have, throw them in the chat. If you're on IG, throw them in a little question mark down at the bottom, and we'll get to them. We will get to them. All righty. So NIO, I want to say it's NIO or NEO. And I know we've talked about this before. Right. NIO designs, manufactures, and sells smart and connected electronic vehicles. I thought it was the batteries. So let's see if we can blow that up. Can y'all see that? Let me know if you can see this. All right, so designs, manufactures, and sells smart and connected electronic vehicles. It manufactures autonomous driving electronic vehicles integrated with next generation technology and artificial intelligence. It manufactures E78, which is a 7-seated all aluminum alloy body electronic sports vehicle, SUV. Now, I feel like they haven't. So wow, it's got a 44 billion market cap, but I feel like they haven't really sold anything. But I have to go back and look. I know a lot of y'all in the audience love this stock because we've talked about it before. I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at it deeply. So, all right. So the text chat. Oh no, it's not a bot. No. So all right. So the first couple of messages come out are automated, but it's not a bot. Carissa, if you got the message today that I sent out, that was me. I sent it out. All right. So no bots over here. Right now, I'm kind of at war with the bots, the Bitcoin bots, the FX bots. They're like chasing me down, and they're being very, very abusive to be on social media. They're following me on Facebook. They're following me on Instagram. They're even following me on YouTube. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of bots these days. But listen, there's a bot for everything. So it's not just those platforms. Not just those platforms. DL Store, how are you? Happy Wednesday. All right, so nobody has any other questions. Jamal never came on. Maybe I'll get Jamal next time and we'll talk about it. He wanted to talk about what's going on down in the Capitol with those racist folks down there. I'll just say this, folks. Listen, unity will always be our strongest tool. Unity is the strongest tool for all other ethnic groups. Some things just don't change. The formula for a good chocolate cake is usually the formula for a good chocolate cake. You could add a little remix here, a little sprinkle there, but you typically need all the ingredients, right? So I would say figure out how we can stay more or become more unified with each other. I do worry that some of these cells or some of these other folks may come into our communities. I will say this, many of us are disillusioned at the firepower that many of these militias and KKK and Proud Boys have. I asked that question today on my personal page. What would happen if this came to the hood? And people think that we are really prepared for it. Well, one reason why we're not prepared for it is because these militias and these KKK people and these Proud Boys, they actually train, right? I'm not going to say they're the best. I'm not saying they're better than us, but they train. Anytime you have some form of training in some kind of organization, you have an upper advantage. You have the upper hand. So those are things that I am concerned about. I'm not going to say worried, but I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about when I asked this question, a lot of people started flashing their guns and showing their guns, but they're only thinking about themselves as individuals. I just said unity, y'all. It's really going to take unity for us to make any real inroads and make any real change. Just my thoughts. That's my commentary. That's my concerns. So until we can really do that and really got to figure out how to do it, nothing's really going to change. I don't care who's in office. And yes, the Democrats this go round are better, but like I said, I'm a disciple of Malcolm X. The parties don't really matter. They treat us all equally, and they all treat us equally badly. So, keep it all in context. What's up, Dak? How are you? So Dak says, do I do consulting? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I'm thinking about doing a few other things as well around the term or around the realm of coaching and consulting. So what you need help with that, reach out to me. I just gave out the number. Everybody can text me at 215-974-0058. Again, 215-974-0058. You can connect with me there. I also send out a lot of the communications of when I will be live or when I will be doing something educational around money, sometimes finance, sometimes politics, but usually I like to let everybody know. And I'm also building a community off of the likes of these platforms that are controlled by these big tech conglomerates, because they have control. If you do everything on these platforms, they control you and they control your access to your community. God forbid I say something and they cancel me. They say, oh, come on, we're getting rid of your page, which happens often. I don't want to try to reconnect with everybody one person at a time after all these years of building relationships with y'all. So text me 215-974-0058. All right, y'all. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask. You got about 60 seconds left on the clock. About 60 seconds left on the clock. Erms, how are you? Welcome. I'm just trying to check and see if anybody put anything on Instagram. Bray Bryans, how are you? Hope I didn't miss you earlier. I don't think I missed any commentary, any questions. But all right, folks, remember you're watching the Finance Rebel Show. I'm Kamari Ellis. We do this section of the Finance Rebel Show every Wednesday. It's Wealthy Wednesdays. I answer your questions live. So feel free to come on back next Wednesday, 8 p.m., same Rebel time, same Rebel channel. All right, everybody, have a great night, and I will see you soon. So long. Later, folks.